Good evening, this is Bill, K6KRQ, your net control operator for the River City Amateur Radio Communications Society Slow Scan TV Net. This net serves for training and practice in image transmission modes and meets Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time on the N6NA repeater at 441.3 megahertz. River City ARCS members and all licensed radio amateurs are welcome to participate. If you wish to join the net or need to make a call at any time, please announce your call sign between transmissions and net control will acknowledge you. If an emergency should arise and you need the repeater, please contact the net control by saying break, break. A double break signifies emergency traffic. The net will stand by for you until the emergency is terminated or the traffic is moved to another frequency. Stations who wish to check in are asked to respond with their full call sign using the recognized ITU phonetic alphabet and their name. I will recognize each station before continuing. Any station who wishes to check into the net, please come now.
6 Yankee, Germany, N6YG, George and Lincoln.
Hello, George. I trust you are recovering well. Good to have you. Anybody else?
November 6th, Papa Golf, Quebec, Bob.
KI6 HFP, Chris.
All right, I got Bob, N6PGQ. Welcome. Good to have you, as always. And Chris, KI6 HFP. Welcome. Anybody else?
Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta, Carol, Citrus Heights.
Hello, Carol. Good to have you. Carol's Kilo Papa 4 Mike Delta. Anybody else? Okay, I'll check in a little while, see if anybody comes along. I don't have anybody on YouTube yet. So, we are going to begin with George, N6YG. If you're ready, George, we're ready for you.
Yeah, I have one queued up. This is going to be MR90 from Norway 6 Yankee Golf.
Very good. Good transmission. Not trying to be flip or anything, but it's in memory of in a couple of ways. Let's go to Bob, N6PGQ, for comment on this one.
Well, I was sorry to hear that KO6KD is an SK. Picture quality is really good. Very few, if any, pixel pops that are obvious. There's a little bit of skewing on the left side of the picture where my computer didn't completely sync. Anyway, we're looking at a Camaro with bigger tires in the back and smaller ones in the front, and they don't look like they're a quiet riding freeway tire. But anyway, good picture quality, N6PGQ.
All right, very good. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP.
I'm actually having some technical difficulties with Windows right now, so I'll go ahead and pass it on to someone else, so hopefully I can get back online for the next round. KI6HFP.
Oh, those Windows things again. All right, very good. So see if we get it squared away. Let's go to Carol, KP4MD.
Okay, yeah, this picture came through very, very well, and yes, Bill Yergin, K06KD, an awesomely sweet fellow that I don't have any unpleasant memories of him at all. On the air a lot on Simplex. I would get on his Simplex frequency and chat with him and had nothing but awesome memories and very pleasant. Just a all-around really great guy, in my knowledge. So it's a great tragedy that the first successful picture that he sent on our Netgear was the last one. So he will be missed. Thank you so much for sharing this, KP4MD.
All right, thank you, Carol. So I never got a chance to meet this gentleman. I'm going to guess that maybe this was his car. I'll say this about this Camaro SS. That's a good look with those tires. Even if they might be noisy on the freeway, it's a good look. Anyway, let's go to George and have him tell us about his photo.
Oh yeah, that was Bill's car. I was very proud of it. We like muscle cars. The U.S. mags, the aluminum or the mag wheels on that. I had a set of those on my Camaro. Yeah, we had a lot in common, including the health issues. So that kind of freaked me out when I was stunned because I used to talk with him quite a bit on Simplex on 535. He liked Simplex. He wasn't much of a repeater person. And so over the years, I spent quite a bit of time talking with him down there, and there's a group down there. And over the last year or so, or since I've been back, I've been spending most of my time on the repeaters, being active with the club and helping a lot of newbies that have gotten into the hobby, and I just haven't had as much time to go down to 535 and hang out and talk with them. And about a year ago back, he asked me to help him get MMS TV running and show him how to participate in the slow scan net, and I had forgotten about it. And he asked me about it because he listens quite often. He would monitor, wouldn't say much, and so he caught me a couple days before the last net and asked me if I had time to help him. And I was in quite a bit of pain, and he told me to forget about it. And I said, no, we put it off long enough. And so I spent a couple hours with him on 2-meter single sideband, getting him configured, and he was really proud. This was the first image he sent over SSTV to me on single sideband, and then he sent this image. He had it ready and sent it with his call sign during the net. It was his very first time on the net, and we were all looking forward to him continuing to participate. So I was very sad to hear of his passing. So with that back to net. N6YG.
Thank you, George. You know what? I didn't put that together. He checked in here 2 weeks ago, and his picture was a older. Wow. He didn't seem like he was that old. He seemed like he was like totally with it. That's just now hitting me like a sledgehammer. He was a good conversation. We talked for quite a bit after the net.
Yeah, no, that was him. And I mean, he was suffering health problems, but I don't think anybody saw this coming this fast. So, N6YG.
Well, you could have fooled me. He seemed to be with it. He was upbeat, and he was so happy he was able to punch that picture through. So, well, that's too bad. Okay, then I kind of gave him a moment of silence. This is Bill K6KRQ. Thanks for that, George, and that is truly sad. My prayers were with his family, even though I never met him face to face. Let's go to Bob in Roseville, N6PGQ. If you're ready, Bob, we're ready for you.
Okay, this is going to be PD120, and it's an homage to Yesu, N6PGQ.
Boy, that sure came through good. Excellent transmission. I wonder if this cat's got an affinity for sleeping on radios. Like we had a cat that had an affinity for sleeping on boxes and shoes. Anyway, let's start with Carol for this one. KP4MD. Go ahead there, Carol.
Okay, yeah, this is KP4MD. I am seeing a cat apparently with laying her head on top of an Elecraft KX3. Is that? I think that's a KX3. And I'd say that is a cat-controlled transceiver without question. A rather expensive cushion. And I don't know, but you know, if that cat's actually sleeping there, I'm just hoping that that little kitty is not going to be drooling into that radio. But very, very good, clear picture, bright colors. Um, if I stare very carefully, I might see maybe half a dozen small pixel pops in the dark areas. But nice. I think I know this cat too. And oh, underneath you got the power cord plugged into the side of the Elecraft radio with some Anderson power poles on the end of that power cord. So back over to net. This is Kilo Pop for Mike Delta.
Thank you, Carol. I'd like to add, this picture came over real clear. I can see ARRL written on looks like maybe a manila folder on the chair there. Let's go to George, N6YG.
Yeah, almost like an orange tabby with white socks on a white face. Nice looking cat. Taller in person, though. I mean, I love my dogs, but they're not using my radios as pillows. And yeah, that does look like a KX3. It's a very nice piece of equipment. I like that radio a lot. I wish it was in the budget. So the picture came over flawlessly. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the best pictures I've seen. I'm not sure I can even see any pixel pops. Maybe one or two. I'd have to go full screen, and I can't tell if that's blemishes in the floor or pixel pops. So picture came over great. Yeah, that's funny, by the way, Carol. Cat controlled. You got to chuckle out of me with that one. Alrighty, back to net from Norway 6 Yankee Golf.
Yeah, ditto here on the chuckle. I've noticed not too much gets by Carol. On YouTube, this is like cinematic quality. It came over really good over the stream. Let's check in on Chris and see if he's still getting his stuff squared away. How about it, Chris? How are you doing over there?
Well, I got up and going, so the picture came through absolutely amazing. It almost just looks like it was sent, like it was texted to my cell phone. I think I see one right in the center, but you can barely see it because it kind of blends in with the white on the cat. So great transmission. KI6HFP. Back to net.
All right, thanks, Chris. I'm glad you got it together. Let's go to Bob and have him tell us about his picture and the cat pillow. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, Carol got my homage to Yaesu because for years they touted their cat control of their radios. That's Dexter. And I brought my radio in and set it on the sofa because I was testing an antenna outside. And so I put it on the sofa and went to get some more stuff. And he decided that it would make a good pillow. So that's, as you guys mentioned, an Elecraft KX3 with cat control. And either that or he's trying to get his technician license by osmosis. And the dots in the brown floor are is dust on the floor. N6 PGQ.
All right, very good. Thank you, Bob. Clever. All right, I'm going to take a moment here to welcome. We have one YouTube watcher, WR1411. Hello to you and welcome. Glad you could make it. And I'll take a moment here to identify. This is Bill K6KRQ, and see if anybody else might have come along and would like to check in to the Slow Scan TV net. If so, come now. All right, no takers. Okay, that's going to bring us to Chris. If you're ready, let's see if you're ready first. You got a picture queued up?
Yes, I do. I'll go ahead and send this MR90.
All right, very good. Bill, K6KRQ. You know, we seem to have pretty good luck dodging the repeater idea, but not that time. Let's see. I'm gonna go to George last on this one. Let's start with Carol again. KP4MD. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, this is KP4MD. I got a good picture. Yeah, the repeater idea is just a little bit lower than halfway down the picture. And I've been having some sudden fades in the repeater signal here. Sometimes happens here, and I think it's multipath getting from the leaves of the tree that's really close to the antenna. So there was a little tiny horizontal streak a little bit above that repeater ID, and that was time that the I could see that the repeater just wasn't breaking a squelch, and it popped back in again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like 4 SO230. I guess those are SO239s. We're looking on the inside there, and they're going to a switch. It looks like a multi-gang type of ceramic rotary switch. What's going on here? I don't know. Maybe this is to select different antennas, I'm guessing. It looks like it. Looks like some kind of antenna, what they call those, crossover type switch. And it's inside a larger chassis. I have no idea what's going on here, but it looks really curious. And it looks like it's probably HF, because that wouldn't be UHF wiring. They just have single pieces of hookup wire going from the center pins of those SO239s to the ceramic wafer there on that switch there. Can't really tell much else what's going on. There's a cable tie in the foreground holding a gray sheathed cable, and it looks like another wire that's a white wire with some kind of a connector on the end of it. Very curious what this is. Back to net control. It's KP4MD.
Yep, same here. Thank you. Good observation. Let's go to Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, the only thing I can add is that there's a red wire that's wrapped in what looks like heat shrink tubing that goes from the connector up to the top of the device. It looks to me like this is a homemade piece of equipment. The edges, I don't know, would have been built by a manufacturer like that, where the aluminum pieces come together and are screwed together. Whatever it is, it's a nice piece of gear. I don't think it's an amplifier, because I have no idea where they have a tube, but it's going to be interesting to find out what this is. N6PGQ.
Thanks, Bob. You know, I was thinking the same thing, like a home project or a rebuild, because I'm really wondering if this is some more of Chris's cable micro management, because it's so small in a small spot. But we'll find out. But first, let's go to George, N6YC. I'm sure he's got insight on this one. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, I know what it is. The picture's a little distorted. He forgot to click the height width button when he imported this. Chris, you mind if I tell him what it is?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I do believe this is the input output side of a Palstar tuner. I recognize this because of the Messi and Poloni PL259s that are sitting on the back of it. One of the only things about this equipment that annoys me is his choice of use for the SO239 panel mounts. He uses these the threaded type. You can see the screws in the back rather than actual panel mounts that'll bolt on. I guess that's to either save a little money on some extra screws which he hasn't saved any money anywhere else on this amplifier. So I find, or on this tuner, so I find it odd that this is where he would choose to try to save a few pennies. But the problem with that is that those SO239s, as they come out the back of the amplifier, are not quite to specification, and so certain PL259s will not thread all the way onto them. Hence the reason why Chris has chosen the Messi and Poloni clamp style connectors. They work perfectly with this. And yeah, there's a little band switch in here, so you have inputs, outputs, and this one is lacking the ballon. They went to an external ballon later on, and then of course on the bottom is I think the power input, that little yellow with the one wire. It's a power input. I don't like the ground on this. When they do a ground like that, just to a solder tab and a bolt, that just can be. But I've never had a problem with it. So above that, you'll see a little green board, and that's the RF peak reading and average power SWR board that's sitting up top there. So I believe that's what this is, and that's the antenna switch. The two ceramic wafers would be the antenna switch. Antenna 1, antenna 2, bypass, so on and so forth. Back to net, N6YG.
Thank you, George. That was quite the critical assessment. I'm going to find out if there's any son to father retort to that. Anyway, I'm kind of wondering if you did any work inside of this, because the wiring looks awfully neat. But why don't you go ahead and tell us about it, Chris?
Yeah, no, my dad hit the nail on the head with everything. The only thing I had to do to this tuner was tighten down the buttons on the front of it. They had loosened up during shipping, so I had to take the case off and tighten the two screws down. And while I was in there, I was trying to see how hard it'd be to replace those connectors on the back. But then I decided just to get the Messi and Pelosi clamp-on connectors instead. It was just going to be easier.
All right, very good. Well, that picture came through pretty good, the idea notwithstanding. So, good job. Thanks for that, Chris. That's going to bring us to Carol, KP4MD. If you've got one queued up, we are ready for it.
Okay, yes, this is going to be PD120.
KRQ. That's 2 in a row that got burned by the idea. But since Carol injects directly into the stream, I believe, it looks really, really, really good on YouTube. That is quite an array, and that is from a collection of the gentleman that just became a silent key. This is another homage. Let's go to George, N6YG. First comment on this one.
I don't have a whole lot to add. There's quite a few pixel pops in it, and of course the idea. Luck of the draw. Some nice vintage equipment in here. Yeah, I remember. We've talked a lot. I think he went to a 7610 for a while, and then he went back to a 7700. And I see some Dawa, Swan, Diamond, maybe Diamond, SWR power meters up top, and that big meter. I know that meter. For some reason, maybe all the goodies from the pharmacy are making me a little slow today. So let's see. I see what looks like a Kenwood down in the corner. Is that a D710? I would love to get my hands on one of those, but they command too high of a price nowadays. This picture is kind of interesting. I see where it says mic and RF gain. That looks like it's much larger than it should be for the rest of the size of the gear, like it's zoomed in. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and send it back to Net, N6YG.
Thank you, George. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what that meter is there. The gray and white one. It looks like it says Yaesu on it, but I don't know what it is. Let's go to Bob, N6PGQ.
Well, I can't add too much. Very nice collection of gear. It's all nicely stacked together without a lot of space between them, and the level seems to be pretty even. Lots of good stuff there. Making use of the desk space very effectively. I'm kind of jealous. Yeah, you've got a meter with a kind of a olive collection, and a radio off to the right, and the mic's plugged into it. Maybe a VHF UHF radio in the bottom right. I can't tell what the device is with mic and RF gain. Anyway, a nice collection of gear, N6PGQ.
All right, very good. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP.
Well, I don't have too much to add. I think everybody said everything by now. Definitely a nice collection of gear. Kind of curious to hear the lowdown of what everything is. So I'll go ahead and send it back to Net, KI6HFP.
All right, thank you, Chris. So I see a brief explanation from Carol. I won't read it because I'm wondering what none of this is, but I think I can, must be from like a clip. Anyway, let's go to Carol and have her tell us about this photo. Go ahead, Carol.
Okay, yeah, this is Kilo Papa for Mike Delta. This is it's a frame capture from a YouTube video that was posted about 9 years ago on a channel that's devoted to off-road, like four-wheel drive vehicles. And the title of the video was Overland Communications, and it's completely randomly captured off the internet and used in this video to demonstrate that if you want to put a radio in your four-wheeler, you don't have to have a station like this. So it was kind of funny. It's like negative. You don't need to be afraid of having to do something like this just to get a radio into your Jeep or whatever you're going to be driving. And Bill was not aware that this appeared on that video, but I did share it with him. I said, "Look at this! You got your call sign there, and your station is being given as an example of what you don't need to do," which is kind of negative. But it was kind of, I guess, like a homage to him as well, that this is a rather high-end type of station. And I did put the link there in the YouTube chat in case it's queued right to where this picture comes up. It's at second number 22 in a video of several minutes long. And yeah, it's of course I did a close-up of the call sign there, and I blew it up. That's the inset, so you can actually read his call sign. So I thought it was very. I mean, you'll see that once in a while. You'll go through the internet. Just do Googling, and you'll find pictures of yourself and your call letters or your station popping up that people are using. They just grab it without asking any permission and using it for an example of something. I thought that was really cool, and he thought so too. But yes, just a little memory there of Bill, KO6KD. Back to you, KP4MD.
Thank you, Carol. That was very nice. Yeah, that's got to be mind-boggling seeing your stuff on somebody else's video. I've heard other people mention that before too, so that's odd. All right, before I go on, I want to give an over-the-air welcome to John, WO7K in Las Vegas. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. All right, that's going to, Carol, do you know what kind of meter that is? That Yaesu one with the big white face and the gray case?
The one with the big meter, gee, oh, there it is. It's a Yaesu. You can actually see it on the on YouTube. It's a YS2000 peak reading watt meter. That's what it is, and it's got power and SWR set. So yeah, you can see it very clearly on the YouTube video. Over.
All right, thank you. I see a couple other interesting ones up there at the top left too, but it looks like a pair of the same kind.
Actually,
Interesting.
I think it's a 220 and then a 400.
That's going to bring it to my turn. So this one here, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. Just when was the last time you saw one? And it kind of ties into a theme we have on here sometimes. So if you are ready, I'm going to send this MR90. I think all systems are go. So this is KRQ, Bill, K6KRQ. Here it comes. looks like I dodged the idea, but looks like I got a bunch of pixel pops on that one. This was meant to be kind of a pixel pop stressor. So let's go, like I say, I'm more interested in when the last time you saw one of these. So let's go to George first, N6YG.
Dodge Roadrunner Super B. I haven't seen one in a long time. Picture came over pretty good. There's some pixel pops here and there, but boy, that's a blast from the past. How old is this picture? Because that looks pretty clean.
It's just a snap. Let's go to Bob, N6PGQ. I know he knows what it is, but when was the last time you may have seen one of these?
Well, I haven't seen one for a while, but I'm going to think that it's also a Plymouth. I think there was one at the museum maybe a year ago or something like that. They were doing some hot rods and later model cars. Yeah, we were Ford people. Good friend of mine owned the dealership in Roseville, and he would drive whatever he wanted to high school. He had one of these things, and he drove Chrysler Imperials and everything else that his dad would let him drive to high school. It was kind of embarrassing to see the wealth of cars that he was able to choose from. But yeah, this is a Plymouth, and I don't know. I'm guessing I don't know, 69 or something like that. N6PGQ.
Comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Roadrunner was the Plymouth, and then the Super B was the Dodge. They were very, very similar. The Super B was the Dodge's answer to that.
All right, very good. Let's go to Chris, KI6HFP. Same question, if you've seen one.
I have not. Probably for the best, because then I'd just be sad. I like this generation of cars, especially the American Muscle generation out of Detroit.
All right, very good. Well said. Let's go to Carol, KP4MD. See if Carol's familiar with it.
No, sorry, I have no idea what this car is. Thank you.
All right, very good. So anyway, I'll tell you, I snipped this a couple weeks ago when we were talking after the net about Looney Tunes stuff, and I just thought of it. I forget what year they first came out, so I remember they came out either when I was a preteen or a young or just turned into a teenager. So I'm 66, so that would have been between 69 and 73. So I remember when these came out, I thought they were so neat. I even had to learn how to draw that Roadrunner character on my textbook covers, and I thought they were so cool. And I'm surprised I don't see any of them. Reset. I think a couple of years ago on an episode of Pawn Stars, the pawn shop show that's in Las Vegas, they went to some auction and like the kid bought one, and I think he spent like $50,000 or something on it. I think it was the same color as this too. But man, they got to just command a premium if you can even find one. All right then, that said, this is Bill, K6KRQ. We have like quite a few minutes left. If anybody has another picture, how about?
Yeah, I was thinking just that. I've got one queued up.
I was pretty sure you would. Good, very good. All right, then if you got it queued, we're ready for it. Go ahead and let it rip. All right, that came through here really good. On YouTube, there's a line going through it above the Y and the T. And then, oh, there's another one going below the G and the V. So maybe Carol can speak to that. It's interesting. There's another one at the bottom. Interesting. Anyway, I don't know what this is. You know, this again speaks to the technical department of our net, but it looks like I can see the wires look like they're going through a windowsill or something. Anyway, it sure is interesting. Let's start with Carol, KP4MD, and we'll work up. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, okay, this is Killer Papa for Mike Delta. Yeah, those lines that you probably haven't seen on your own, it's the repeater is it's got some really deep fades where it doesn't break the squelch, and I lose the tone for a line or two. And again, I think that's a factor of just the multipath that I'm having here. But this looks like a homebrew antenna tuner with some pretty hefty coils there of looks like copper tubing, and you got some insulators going through. That's probably some kind of a homebrew feed through under a window. I could see Venetian blinds, and probably a way to get some open wire ladder line, or what they call open wire line feed to go through on the other side of that window. That's what I'm guessing. There's a couple of smaller wires with looks like some turns going through some ferrites on the right side, and plexiglass. That's what that looks like. Oh, okay. Those um, those ceramic insulators that I'm seeing are actually in the plexiglass that's at the back end of that wooden base that that thing is built on. So and then it goes through those wires probably to a transmission line on the other side, on the outside of that window. Very interesting, and looks like somebody worked really hard on that. Oh yeah, in the foreground, looks like there's in that right corner of that wooden plank. It looks like you have a toroid transformer with some turns of wire going through it. Interesting. Back over to Nets. Killer Pop for Mike Delta.
All right, very good. Thank you, Carol. Thanks for that explanation about that. It's interesting, even though it might be kind of annoying. Let's go to Chris, KI6 HFP.
nothing. I'm just sitting here trying to learn something new.
You mean you haven't seen this?
I have not.
All right, very good. Let's go to Bob, N6 PGQ.
Well, all in all, the picture's very, very clear. I'm receiving it over the air, and I see very few, if any, pixel pops. I think there's one red one over the N, over on in the black. Interesting, probably tuner. Like was mentioned, the ceramic insulators probably are feeding ladder line or a long wire. The device is mounted on some press wood and the press wood's sitting on a nice bench. I'm trying to figure out, I can't quite tell if to the right of the insulators the wires are going through ferrite or something to that effect. I can't tell, where the feed is. Yeah, that's coming in the bottom of that piece that's up against the windowsill or whatever that is, and then going to the insulators. Anyway, I'm interested to know the layout on this thing, N6PGQ.
All right, very good. Let's go to George. George, tell us about this apparatus here.
Well, this, if we got a moment, there's a second picture to this that might actually make sense and help explain it before I go into detail, unless you want me to tell you what it is.
No, we got time. Go ahead and send the next one. That one came through real well, too. So along with this one, go ahead and tell us about the pair, George.
Carol, you want to venture a guess?
Oh, we're open for guesses.
Okay, I see a Tektronix scope and two signals that are 90 degrees or 180 degrees out of phase. So I think what you're doing is measuring the phase difference on each conductor of a parallel transmission line. This is what I'm guessing. Measuring the current. You got something picking up the current and showing that they're 180 degrees out of phase. This is my guess. Back to you, KP from D.
Excellent guess. If you look at the first picture, you'll notice that right by the window, there's a little circuit board, and there's some clamp-on toroids, and then there's some ferrites, and then the wire goes through the ferrites. Those are RF probes, so there's wire around those ferrites, and so those are RF probes, and then of course that's RG316, and it goes through the clamp-on to prevent common mode from getting on the outside shield of the coax, and those feed the oscilloscope directly. And you remember in parallel line, when you're running open wire feeder, each line is 180 degrees out of phase, and in the old days, they would tune those tuners by putting little neon lights in line, and you would tune until both lights were the same brightness. Well, this is kind of a more modern version of this. You use your oscilloscope to make sure that the tuner is tuned, and you get the peaks 180 degrees out of phase, exactly 180 degrees out of phase, and at the same voltage, positive and negative. And it's in tune. So that's what they're looking at. You're looking at open wire feeder as viewed through an oscilloscope to make sure it's tuned.
So thanks, George. I assume this is something you did at the house in the lab?
No, not here, but yeah. Yeah, it's all fun with RF. I really enjoyed homebrew tuners and stuff like this. And I was reminded of this as I'm getting ready to build another RF. It's something that's hard to find, and if you do find it, it's in the commercial laboratory realm where they're ridiculously expensive. But an RF current probe for measuring current on feed lines and so on. So I'm in the process of building another one. MFJ used to make one, but good luck finding it.
6PGQ.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay, George, explain the first picture, if you would, please.
Bring it up here again. Yeah, it's just basically a tuner, and then from the tuner you see the plexiglass, and then the insulators. Carol did a pretty good job explaining it. And there's two of these. There's another one on the other side as well. So this is just one side of it. And it's open wire feeder, and and of course the spreaders are all homemade out of. You can kind of see one there in the window. They're made out of what's that? Really flexible irrigation pipe. I remember spending hours cutting those things up and making slots in them to make open wire 600 ohm feed line. In fact, I think there's a chunk of that stuff lying around here someplace still.
So, George, is it a variable capacitor on that thing? I don't see any contacts.
That one's fixed. You can see a clamp. That one wire comes over to this clamp up top here.
Okay, that's where the tap is then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right, very good. That is kind of interesting, those projects. All right then, so that's going to bring us to the top of the hour. Before I close it up, I see for our YouTube listeners, I see Carol, I hope I'm not stealing your thunder or anything, but there's going to be a YouTube live stream hiatus until the 22nd of July, so that'll just be YouTube. We'll still meet here on the net regularly, so if you're watching on YouTube and you can somehow hit this repeater, we invite you to tune in over the air. And we have a late check-in from 182 QKFTW. I think that's our friend in Fort Worth, wishing us a happy 250th 4th of July. Well, same to you, and thanks for joining us. So are there any other questions or comments before I close up the net? All right, then I want to thank all who participated in tonight's net, and especially our YouTube people. We hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific time, and my condolences to all of you that knew Bill KO6KD. He was a good check-in here a couple weeks ago, so I'm sorry to hear that. There's Kayla checking in too. Hello, Kayla. So I'm sorry to hear that. He would have been a lively addition to our nets, that's for sure. Anyway, like I said, we hope to see you again next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Pacific time. I'm going to close the net officially at 10:02 p.m. This is Bill, K6KRQ, wishing all of you a good evening. 73.
Thanks for running the net, Bill. Good job as usual.